Hello. So, here's the second part of my thought experiment. So, before I took this class, I was a lot more ignorant on a lot of the educational issues and educational qualities. So, I think some of the things I focused on weren't as crucial than some of the other, problems that you brought to my attention in this class. I talked about extracurricular activities in my first thought assignment. I talked about preparing people for the working world, and I also talked about students' health in schools. And I do think these are important, but I just feel like a lot of the issues that I'm going to talk about later in this video are a lot more urgent and a lot more important and can make a lot more substantial differences quickly. So the first thing I feel like that would help is I think that we need to emphasize technology more in our curriculum. Technology is our future, and if we want to stay relevant and compared to other countries, we need to continue to work on that. And each year, more and more jobs in the tech field are being created, while other jobs are being taken by the tech field. So I think it's really important, if we want to stay competitive in the global marketplace, to continue to work on this. And then another thing I think that's important is try to incorporate other countries' styles in both how they fund and teaching styles. So from the Baker article, it talks about how messed up a lot of our funding is, and like how we district ourselves, and this is why our the inequality gap is so huge, and why it's a hard thing for people to get out of. And then when talking about teaching styles, I'd say getting away from this achievement-based, doing well on standardized tests thinking, and just hoping that, having trust in your teachers and hoping that what they're doing is good, because these achievement-based assignments, I just have so many problems. I talked about it in my reflection, but kids are rushed, teachers are pressured because their job's at stake, and they just really feel like, they're not teaching to the best of their ability. The content they're teaching is limited. So I think that's a huge problem. And another thing that was brought to my attention that I didn't really think about a lot before was how we can incorporate gender equity in schools. And I feel like a lot of that is having students work outside their comfort zones, because maybe try to motivate different genders to do things that they normally wouldn't do, and because you need to be exposed to something before you can really truly fall in love with it. Let's see. Oh yeah, another important thing that I think would be really beneficial to have in our schools is classes that work on interpersonal relationships. Because I just talked about how tech is taking so many jobs away from other certain kinds of jobs, but there's certain jobs like HR, coaching, teachers that you need involve personal interactions. So if there could be a class like that to help develop kids that were maybe is a little more socially awkward, I think that could be beneficial. And another class that would help is a class that talked about work-based assignments. So I had an internship this year, and there's a lot of times where I felt really unprepared, and I was thinking, if there was a class like this in school, this could have been so helpful. And then another thing that I think we need to emphasize is how to be fathers and mothers in our classes, because I feel like a lot of people go into this stage of their life and it's such an important thing, and they don't know how to do, these important tasks. And I just feel like it's a big important part of life, and if we helped out with that, that would be really beneficial. Another thing that I think would help out a lot was if kids can maybe specialize in things earlier in life. This doesn't necessarily have to apply to everyone, but some people know what they want to do, and why not let them do what they want to do if they already know? So I think we can have maybe specialized curriculum for some students. And the last thing I want to talk about is, I talked about extracurricular activities, but I feel like, we need a big emphasis on arts programs in our country, because a lot of times, people aren't exposed to these things, and then once they're exposed to them, they fall in love with it and they make a career out of it. But until they're exposed, this is almost an opportunity wasted. So I feel like if we could do this, that'd be really helpful. All right, let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about. Yeah, that's it. Okay, thanks.